Hello, this is Jess Hay from Creative Cards to You. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, I was inspired with this card from watching Tiffany Solario make a bonus card for her Mixed Media class Foundations 1, where she showed how to use Distress Embossing Glazes. I am making this card for a friend who has to be off work for a good amount of time. To start off, I am using Strathmore Mixed Media paper and I cut it to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I used these script stamps from this Park Lane set and I used white embossing powder. If I had it to do all over again, I would have chosen more of the words that you can understand or see and stamp more of the image at the same time. I heat embossed it off screen and then got my embossing glazes out. I am using what I have, which is Rustic Wilderness, Speckled Egg, and Antique Linen. I opened them all up because I will need to move fast to have it adhere to my Crackle paste before it dries. I used a palette knife to apply Tim Holtz Distress Crackle paste to the areas of the card that will be around the sentiment. I used this stained glass stencil from A Colorful Life design, which is one of my current favorites. I was working pretty fast and kind of having trouble gauging how thick I was applying the Crackle paste, and I ended up having some of the centers be kind of holy and not have all of the Crackle paste in it, but I was okay with it. I then sprinkled the Distress glaze on the Crackle paste and kind of tapped it from the bottom to get the powders to settle into the paste. I set it aside to dry while I worked on the sentiment. I used clear embossing ink and white embossing powder to stamp this sentiment from the greetery onto vellum, and I heat set it off camera. After that was done, I went back to my background panel and I heat set the embossing glaze into the Crackle paste, heating from the bottom of the cardstock as well as on the top. I was totally fine if it blistered, as I thought that gave some fun texture and allowed the glaze to peek through. I made these DIY distress sprays with reinkers in tumbled glass antique linen, and rustic wilderness. I'll speed this part up and let you watch the process as I do dry it in between applications, but I kind of go between adding the color through a variety of ways, whether it's spraying it or kind of tapping the applicator onto the cardstock or putting water on top of it all. Kind of just go back and forth between all of those. Toward the end, I did use my Speckled Egg Distress Oxide Reinker and the Antique Linen Distress Spray as well to kind of get a little bit more of the opaque color. I cut out some of the drying in between layers as I imagine that is not too exciting to watch. When I was mostly satisfied with how it looked, I splattered some Dina Wakley white acrylic spray paint. When the background panel was dry, I roughed up the edges with my Tim Holtz Distress tool. I put 1mm foam tape on the back, and I adhered it to the back of a piece of cardstock that I had embossed with the Spellbinders Intertwined Lattice Embossing Folder. I adhered everything to the back of a 4.75 by 6 inch card base. I put small dots of glue on the back of the embossed text that was on the vellum so that hopefully it didn't show up, using Bearly Arts liquid glue. And I adhered the vellum to the card base. I then finished the card off with some iridescent dewdrops. voila, another card is done. I can't wait for Tiffany's live class, as I always learn so much from her. Thanks for watching.